Hola, 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 hola. Ok.
Días, mister.
Oh, bueno, buenos días, Gustavo. Muchas muchachos, espero que estén todo bien, todas son. No se preocupe que eso es de álgebra, menos la parte 3. Esa parte 3 sí es prácticamente idéntico a la de ustedes, pero vamos a discutir el examen en el orden que se debe. Bueno, ustedes ya recibieron lo que es la nota final de examen. Vamos a discutirlo, es decir, resolverlo completamente. Después de eso, les doy su nota acumulativa completa. Y luego, pues, si Dios lo permite, vamos a hacer los reclamos pertinentes, ¿verdad? Como ustedes saben, pues toda esta semana vamos a trabajar en casa y si Dios lo permite, pues la próxima semana estaríamos retornando a la semipresencialidad, ¿verdad? Si Dios así lo permite. Pero mientras tanto, pues en esta semana vamos a terminar de discutir lo que es la resolución del examen bimestral, ¿verdad? Bueno, esta es la clase de noveno grado. This is ninth grade. Ninth grade, this is Algebra 1. Algebra 1 bimestral exam. Okay, we need to erase this part of the whiteboard because this is not belongs for your bimestral exam. Just hold on a second. Let me finish to erase the first part of this whiteboard. Okay, let's going to begin solving the bimestral exam. Okay, so in the sorry, in the first part of the problem says a quadratic function is given. All right, part number 1 says a quadratic function is given. Quadratic function is given. Period. Letter A. Express function in standard form into the standard form. That will be the letter A. Letter B. Find vertex and XY intercepts. Letter B. Letter C is graph the function. Graph the function. And the letter D, we're supposed to find the maximum or minimum values. Find the maximum or minimum value. Okay. And what will be the function? The given function is given by f dx equals 3x squared plus 6x minus 2. Okay, this is the equation in the general form, the classic form that you know. This is a quadratic equation. When the problem says rewrite this equation into the standard form, that means we have to apply the completing square formula. We studied that already a few weeks ago. Remember, before to apply the completing square, make sure the leading coefficient, I mean the number who is next to the x squared variable, that's supposed to be 1, but in this case it's number 3. So we can perfectly take the common factor, the number 3, open parentheses, and the entire equation divided by the number 3. We got x squared plus 2x minus 2/3. And now we can perfectly proceed to completing the square. I mean 3 brackets, parentheses, x plus 1 second power minus 1 second power will be 1 minus 2/3, close parentheses, and the result will be given by 3 times this one will be 3 parentheses, x plus 1 second power. -1 minus 2/3, that will be negative fifth third. Multiplying by 3 will be only -5. Okay? And because we got this original equation by means of the completing square, we have the equation written into the standard form. Why is so useful write this equation in the standard form? Because if you write this equation in the standard form, it's easier to us identify what will be the vertex. Remember what did I tell you? The vertex are the values who's adding or subtracting the letter x, and the value who is adding or subtracting outside the y-axis. I mean, the vertex in this case is given by the symmetric axis. I mean, if I have positive 1 over here, outside will be -1, and the -5 will be the same value. This is going to be the vertex. Now, we're supposed to identify what will be the x and y intercept. For example, the y-intercept is given by when x equals 0, what will be the value from y? 0, 0, -2. And x intercept is the value when y equals 0. Well, equal this equation in 0, we have two values. One of them will be given by 0.3 with 0 by one hand. By the other hand will be -2.3 with 0. Okay, so in this case, we finally found what will be the vertex, the x and y intercepts. The letter C, that will be the graph of the function. The letter D, we're supposed to identify what will be the maximum minimum value. Okay, so let's going to begin with sketch the graph. At the moment, we're going to sketch the graph, guys. Remember, if the how to say that, if the form of the parabola opens upward, that means the vertex represents a minimal value. If the parabola opens downward, that means we're going to have a maximum value. That's going to have an explanation here of the moment going to graph the equation. Not a big deal, not a big situation. If you want to use table values, you can do it. But by one hand, but the other hand, if you with this values with the vertex and the x and y intercepts, that will be more than enough. And if you want to use the symmetric axis, you can do it also. So we got 1, 2, 3 units. Will be more than that. 1, 2, 3 units. 1, 2, 3 units. 1, 2, 3 units. Okay. This is x, negative x, y. Oh, we have 5 units. Okay. We need to increase this denominator. Mhm. 4, 5. Okay. Negative y and positive y. So what will be the first thing that we have to graph in this equation, this situation? Will be the vertex. Vertex given by -1 and -5. Okay, that will be over here. This is going to be the vertex. -1 and -5. Now let's going to graph the x and y-intercepts. I'm going to use these red points. The y-intercept given by 0 with -2. Okay, we got also 0.3 with 0. Okay, over here. And we got -2.3 with 0. -1, -2, 2.3. Okay, and if you wish, we can, because with these three intercept points, that will be more than enough to sketch the graph. But if you really want to apply the symmetric axis, remember, but this is an optional step, and this is not required, is given by x equals -b over 2a. That will be the same x coordinate that we have with the vertex. I mean, we got -6 over 2 times a will be 3. You know, 2 times 3 is -6. Divided by 6 will be -1. This -1, that means the letter x from the vertex is moving 1 degree in the letter x axis to the left side. That what does that mean? That means the letter x will be positioned in -2. And if we evaluate this equation is -2, -2 plus 1 is -1, second power 1 times 3 is 3, minus 5 is -2. For that reason, this black point represents the symmetric axis, the black point, okay, given by -2 with 2. And because we know these points, okay, we can perfectly sketch the graph. All right, and we got this beautiful parabola. That will be the part 3, or I mean the letter C. And because the problem mentioned the letter D, find the maximum minimum value. In this case, we are talking about the minimum value because this parabola opens upward and the minimum value is given by the y coordinate. For that reason, this minimum value, we can say, all right, the minimum value is given by y equals, or y minimum equals -5, okay? And we are fully complete the requirements from the first part of the problem. First of all, rewrite this equation in the standard form. Identify vertex x, y intercepts. Sketch the graph and identify the maximum and minimum values. Just to let you know, in this case, the problem never asking for what will be the interval increase or decrease, only these parts of the problem. Okay, so guys, before to solving the second part of the problem number 2 of the exam, do you have some questions?
So how do you get the number 5?
Yeah, this -5 is
No,
the, mhm.
yes, the negative 5.
Yeah, the -5 is the y coordinate. I mean the number who's subtracting the standard for the equation. This is the easier way to identify the -5 with one hand. By the other hand, if you really want to calculate this value mathematically, well, you can calculate the symmetric axis. Okay, if you see x equals -1, okay, and this answer, evaluate the equation. It doesn't matter if you evaluate in the black one or the blue one, the result will be the same. And I can guarantee it gave us -5. Just for let you know, let's going to evaluate this answer, this black one in the blue one, -1. -1 plus 1, 0. 0 second power is 0. 0 times 3, 0. 0 minus 5, -5. And that's it.
Mr. But how do you get a negative 5?
Yeah, I explained you already. The -5 is obtaining if you want to evaluate this x equals -1 into the black one or the blue one equation. If you evaluate once again this -1 in the first one, the second one equation, you got the -5 is the y coordinate. I mean, remember f dx is the function notation in the equation form. Instead to use f dx is another way of saying is y. And if you subtract -1 plus 1, 0, 0 second power 0, 0 times 3, 0, 0 minus 5, minus 5. F dx equals -5, and f dx, another way of saying is y, is the minimum value. This is how we can obtain this -5, okay? Or in simple hand, when at the moment we're going to complete the square technique, the number who is adding or subtracting the standard form equation will be the maximum or minimum value. And how do I know this is a minimum value? Just like I explained you a few seconds ago, the criteria. If the graph opens upward, just this case, we're talking about the minimum value. If the graph opens downward, we're talking about a maximum value. And because this graph opens upward, then we're talking about the minimum value. Okay? Understood?
Yes, Mister.
Okay. So, another question? No? Okay. Let's going to explain the second one. And the second one is inequalities. Okay. All right. So, in the part number 2 says, part number 2 says, graph the solution set of the existing inequalities. And what will be, and obviously we have to find out what will be the vertices, okay? And the solution area. The system inequalities that we have is x plus y greater than 12 or greater than equal than 12, sorry. The other one is 2x plus y equals 24, greater than, no, it's less than equal than 24. And finally, we got x minus y greater than equal than 6. Okay, what does that mean in this situation? Because we are including the equal sign, that means at the moment we're going to sketch the graph. Sorry, at the moment we're going to sketch the graph. I'm going to use normal lines, okay? At the moment we're going to sketch the graph. So what will be the first step? The first step is obviously create the three inequalities into equations and let's get the graph. You can use the table values or the x and y intercepts. For example, the first inequality, we can solving for the point slope form. We got y equals -x plus 12, right? This is going to be the first inequality in the equation, x plus y equals 12, solving for y, and we got this result. And applying the x, y intercepts, remember, when x has a value from 0, y equals 12. And when y equals 0, x will be 12. This is going to be the first one. How about the second one? Same happens. We got y equals negative 2x plus 24. And we got the same values, x and y. When x has a value from 0, y will be equal 24. And when y equals 0, obviously x will be 12. We have the second equation. And the third one, we got x minus y equals 6, okay? Is solving in the equation form. So for that reason, y that will be equal x minus 6, solving in the point slope form in that case. So what we're going to have at the moment, we're going to apply the x and y intercepts. You know, when x equals 0, y will be equal negative 6. And when y equals 0, x will be equal 6. Okay, we have the three inequalities relating to equations in the point slope form. Well, what will be the next step? The next step, obviously, you're going to get the three lines, the three graphs. Okay, so let's going to see what we have in this case. I'm going to use the scale by 3 units or 6 units. 6, 9, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Every value has a value from 6 units. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, negative 6, negative 12, negative 18, negative 24, negative 30, and negative 6, negative 12, negative 18, negative 24, and negative 30. Remember, this is x, negative y, negative x, and positive y. Okay, so let's go into graph. In the first one, 0 with 12 and 12 with 0. Okay, and we got the first inequality. It is the purple one. It doesn't matter if this inequalities overpasses the graph. Don't worry. Okay, this is going to be the first one, given in the blue one form. Sorry, the purple one. The blue one will be 0 with 24, 0 with 24, and 12 with 0. Okay, we have another inequality written over here. Perfect. And the last one, using the orange one, will be 0 with negative 6, located over here. And 0 with 6. 0 with 6. And we have the third line equation. Third line inequality or inequation. Okay, we have the three lines intercepting in one singular point. So in this case, we have to select I'd say that the test point is evaluated in the original inequality. Remember the test point in the original inequality that will be the origin. The origin means 0 with 0. At the moment, going to evaluate the purple one with 0, 0 greater than equal than 12. That will be false. For that reason, the first solution said we're going to paint the opposite side from the purple one. I mean, that's supposed to be over here in the first one, in the purple one. It doesn't matter if this overpasses, but basically, this is the main idea in the purple one because the origin results false. That's why we are using the opposite side. Um, and by the other hand, the second one, 0 that will be less than equal than 24. In the blue one, that means 0 with 0 will be true. But that reason, I'm going to paint the zone in the blue one directly into the black point located over here. Okay, and that will be the solution set from the second one. And the third one, that's supposed to be, once again, the solution set 0 greater than equal than 6. That's false. That's false. Remember, 0 greater than equal to 6. That's false. What does that mean? That means the solution area that will be the opposite. I mean, located over here. The opposite, the opposite, the opposite. And for that situation, we have to identify what will be the common area. The common area for the three lines will be intercepts. Could you like to tell me, guys, what will be the common
Mister,
line?
the third one is not negative 6.
In which one?
In the graph, that's the linear inequalities. The third one is not a negative 6.
This is not a negative 6. In which one? This one?
No, yes.
Greater than equal than 6 or negative 6? Déjenme checar el examen. ¿Será que lo copié mal? Hold on a second. Hold on, hold on. Permítame, muchachos, tal vez copié mal. Hold on a second. Geometry, pre-algebra, algebra 1, bimestral exam. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Greater than equal than negative 6. Ay, me comí el negativo. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for letting me know. Negative 6, you're right. So, because this is negative 6, let me fix this one. Negative 6, that means will be y plus 6. And when x equals 0, y will be equal 6. And this is going to be negative 6 when y equals 0. So, for that reason, tendría que ser por acá. Tenía mal esta gráfica por aquí. Vamos a arreglarlo, no importa. Siempre hay solución. Let me see. 0 with 6 over here. And negative 6 with 0. Yeah. Tara, tara, tara. Ay, Dios, perdón. All right. And because, let's see once again, yeah, 6, yeah, negative 6 with 0 and 0 with 6. And testing 0 greater than equal than negative 6, that's true, okay, because that's true. So that solution area will be given since here. So guys, would you like to tell me what could be the intersection point between the three lines? What will be?
No, like about 10,
Mm-hmm,
10 thirds.
mm-hmm. Of course, in this situation, okay? This is going to be the way, for example, if you see, the first one will be located over here, right? In the first one, because the order was false. In the second one, the blue one, that's supposed to be over here because that was true in the red line. Blue line, red line, something like that. And this one will be located over here. All right, because in the three ways we have an intersection point, the solution area will be in this side. Okay, that's approaching the triangles. All right, and vertices obviously could be given by 9, 3, 0, 12, and 4, 21, and so on. Okay, that was the solution set from problem number, the problem number 2. Okay, it's not big deal, not complicated, but we have to be careful of the moment we're going to skip the graph because one singular mistake, we're going to having hard problems. In the part number 3, okay, we have to starting from factorizing the following expressions, okay? And those following expressions, my dear students, sometimes we have to use the common factor. Another ones we have to combine common factor with grouping. Another ones we have to using the completing a square technique. And another one was a different square cubic or addition of cubes or subtraction of cubes. Okay, in this case, in the first one, we have seed cube plus 5, seed square plus seed plus 5. We have 4 terms. And we can try to factorize this expression by means of the common factor by grouping. For that reason, in the first couple, I'm going to take the common factor seed square, open parenthesis, in the first couple divided by seed square. For that reason, seed cube divided by seed square will be seed. And 5 seed square divided by seed square will have 5. And once again, because seed plus 5 is repeat twice, okay, we can take the outside this expression, seed plus 5, outside like a common factor, repeat the process, and the answer will be seed plus 5 parentheses, seed square plus 1. Okay, that was the solution set for the letter A. Same happened in the letter B. In the letter B, we have 4 terms. We can perfectly factorize in that expression using common factor by grouping. In the first one, the greatest common factor between 3 and 15 will be 3 and x squared, and x will be obviously x. For that reason, the first common factor will be 3x parentheses x minus 5 by one hand, and the other hand, the common factor will be negative 2y because the letter y repeat in the couple, and the greatest common factor between 2 and 10 will be 2, but in this case, negative 2. And negative 2xy divided by negative 2y, we have x. And 10y divided by negative 2y will be negative 5. And once again, because x minus 5 repeat twice at the same frequency, it doesn't matter which one I'm going to take. You can take any one you wish, and the result will be the same. And the letter C and the letter D both belongs to special formulas from factoring. In the first one, we got the 4 power minus 81 W squared. Well, this is the complete different square. Before to do that, we must to arrange that formula in the complete in the addition of difference of square. Okay, instead to copy y the 4 power will be y squared divided second power minus, instead to use 81 square root 81 will be 9w, and you know the solution set will be a plus b times a minus b, or you can say a minus b times a plus b. That will be the solution set from the red one. Oh, the third one, sorry. And the last one, well, actually, I'm saying the last one because we are almost out of time. Well, at least that will be the last one going to solve for today. This is the difference of q. This is the 4aq minus bq. That's supposed to be equal a minus b, parentheses, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So before to apply that formula, remember the cubic root of 27 is 3. The cubic root of 125 is 5. So for that reason, we arrange those terms, both terms, and at the moment when to apply the formula, and that will be more than enough. Remember, a minus b will be 3c minus 5d equals 9c squared. Because why 9? Because 3c at the second power affect the number 3 and the letter c at the same time. Where I got 15cd, because you have to multiply 3c times 5d. And at the end, 5d at the second power will be 25d squared. Okay? And with this one, guys, will be more than, at least for a while, we're going to finish onto this part, the first part of this exam. It got wheels tomorrow. We're going to continue solving this bimestral exam. All right. And we got wheels tomorrow to finish this bimestral exam. I'm going to give you your cumulates and questions about the cumulates exam, something like that. Okay. Bueno, muchachos, gracias por su fina atención. Dios los bendiga, los guarde, los cuide. Los veo mañana, si Dios sí lo permite.
Mister.
Bueno, los veo mañana, jóvenes. Bye, bye.